Hi, I'm Chef Tim Belanger, and I am an instructor at George Brown College, also a professor, also a food service consultant. Today I am doing the red sauce, but I'm tying this into two different recipes. One was for week 4. On our week 4 we did a red sauce with our gnocchi, and today I am doing the red sauce for our cannelloni, and that is on week 7 of your final exam. But also this is a simple recipe for anybody that's out there that is looking at this video. You can see there's not a lot of ingredients here. We have garlic, fresh thyme, basil, onions. We have tomatoes that I've already chopped up. We do also have, so what I've done is squeezed out the tomatoes, and I'm going to just take this and I'm going to get most of the seeds out. Again, a good product that you utilize is this wonderful Romano tomato that I get from San Marzano. It is a province or a region in Italy that I get it from. Again, it is a product that is quite good. The color of your tomatoes are nice and vibrant, and also they're quite pulpy. And the pulpy is good because that is your actual thickening agent for your product. So remember back on when you did your soups, you did the butternut squash, and the butternut squash, you had the pulp from the butternut squash to thicken the soup. Again, we did a white sauce and we used a white roux, sorry. And then for this one, we are going to make a red sauce. Also, optionals is our basil leaf, dry, and our oregano leaves, dry. That's optional. But with this recipe, we are going to use fresh basil. And I like to buy the basil in a planter like this because it lasts longer. If you buy it in the grocery store, they're already cut, they don't last as long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to strain this, get the seeds out, get the pulp, and then start my mise en place. Again, I have a little bit of saucepan to do this and cook it in. So taking the seeds out of our tomatoes, you can see the sauce right here. I do have my pulp here, and the first thing I'm going to do is I can use some olive oil for this dish, but I have all this wonderful top of here. You can see I have all this flavored olive oil with garlic. So I'm just going to put some in there. And I'm going to add my bernoise of onions on that. You can hear it, a little sizzle. That is good. I'm going to caramelize my product. So I am going to make sure that I get some color on my product. Remember, you learned the terminology sweating, adding no color, and this is sauteing, so I can add some color to this. My bechamel is on the back, and it's cooking nicely. You can see that it's coating the back of my spoon nicely. So now I am going to get a little bit of color on this. I'm not going to burn them. The great thing with inductions, they don't take long to heat up. Okay, so again, this is basically a liter, just under a liter of sauce. My canned tomatoes was roughly around 750 mils. Onions was roughly a half of the small onion, bernoise, and again I'll probably use 2 to 3 cloves of garlic for this. I'm going to use basil and some thyme for this. I'm just going to add a pinch of basil and a pinch. Again, this is dry. Again, that will extract flavor over time. The fresh, I'm going to use at the very end, because that way I will get the oils and extract the flavor right at the end. So I want that to come out. If I use fresh at the beginning of the process, it'll cook out and I wouldn't have the same flavor. Okay, so again, we're starting to get some color in there, a little bit, yeah. Again, the rest of my mise en place are ready. I have a little bit of kosher salt that I'm going to use for my back here, and that's for blanching my pasta. Okay, so again, I'm going to do that in another step. Bagging that off and getting that on. Okay, so getting a little dry there, so I'm going to add a little bit more oil, a little bit more garlic oil on that. Nice aroma with that garlic oil. And again, I use Ontario garlic. This is their late harvest fall product, and I always like to mince it up and put it in oil. That way there, the oil acts as a flavoring for, I can use this for our wonderful pasta here, or I can use some of that flavor oil for putting it on top of, you know, pizza at the end, drizzle on top, or even in a salad dressing itself. Okay, so again, there's some caramelization happening. That's good. I'm going to add my garlic because it is a red sauce. I want that to come out. Again, very aromatic. And again, I'm going to put my basil leaf in there, and I always like to leave my thyme just a little bit with the stems, and I like to pick my stems off later on. Okay, I get that little aromatic with the garlic in that. When I had the Italian restaurant up at Yonge and Eglinton, before service, I would actually go and heat up a pan, and I would go through the through the dining room and have that aroma of the fresh garlic going through. Okay, that's going in there. I have now the rest of my tomatoes going in. Again, that is going to be utilized for my flavor agent as thickening, and my flavor agent, just a pinch of this, and that's optional itself. Okay, oregano and basil are optional, not in the recipe itself. Again, just a pinch, and I'm going to cook this out for roughly around probably half an hour to 40 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to mix all this up. Again, some people will actually, when they're making a tomato sauce, and they've done this in the past, is that they will take their tomatoes and they will put it in a bar blender or a food processor, and what happens with that, it aerates the tomato. And if it aerates, then it turns from a red to pinkish. And we really don't want a pink sauce when we have these wonderful tomatoes that we bought. So again, you want a nice bright red sauce. So again, I'm going to bring this up, and then I'm going to let it simmer for another 45 minutes. Again, I'm having a look. See, there's a little bit of skin happening here. That, don't worry, we're gonna take this and actually strain it again. Okay. So again, that's coming along nicely. This is coming along, and I'm going to now let this cook, and I'm going to simmer this for the next half an hour, 45 minutes. I mentioned different times. It's really on the thickness that I want with that. I'm going to finish off my red or my tomato sauce with some fresh basil. Again, I have some fresh basil that I have a plant here. I'm just going to grab a couple of sprigs. Simply, I'm going to grab my sprigs itself. I'm going to put it over top of each other like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll this up just like so. And then I'm going to cut it, and the terminology is called chiffonade, and it's just basically a rough cut. And then I'm going to add this to my tomato sauce, my red sauce, and then that way there the oils will blend in and give it a nice finish of basil at the end. So that is a red sauce. Again, you'll be using this for your week number 4 with the gnocchi, and then week number 7 with your wonderful cannelloni. Enjoy. Happy cooking.